it's very important, and you hear me say that a lot. I said it early in the interview about generations. Let's stop attaching stuff to age and attach it to behavior. Just like you can be, some people grow old, and some people just, they grow up. They never grow up. Some people just grow old. We have to stop defining things with age. When I hear people say, oh, well, that's different, she was young. So what? I mean, I got my first house at 21. By the time I was 21, I was in the military. I owned my first house. I built my first house at 23. Everybody is not attached to this age situation. I know men 55 that are childish as hell. You know, I know some that are 35 that have way more stability. My 18-year-old daughter is going to be 18. She's had her own business that she makes a couple $1,000s a month. She's constantly working. Even when I try to give her money, she say, Mom, what's the point of me working if I can't pay for things myself? So very mature. She got that from my mom and her daddy. So I don't attach anything to age. It's a cop-out. That's an excuse.
Do you think that's a cultural thing in the black community with age? Because I feel like we talk about age a lot in the black community in the sense of artists.
Ageism.
Like, you don't want to take accountability.
Well, I'm saying like in the sense of like even with rappers, like we know like, okay, when a rapper gets 30, these young
they're
kids
considered old.
They're considered old.
But then when a female, I mean, gender plays into that too.
Okay.
Because a female, you remember how Will Smith, when he came out, was that about a month or so ago? And everybody was cheering him on. They would never do that for a female rapper. So there's gender involved in that too. If that's the case, y'all be supporting my big sis.
But they also was talking about his music.
It don't matter. They would never do that for a female rapper. Let's be for real. What female rapper, unless
maybe Queen Latifah?
No, but she's not rapping like that anymore. So she's
But people would definitely support Queen Latifah.
Yeah,
if
but
she dropped.
she's established herself as an actor, and only because she's had some credibility in that as an actor. What I'm saying is, if Lil Kim, my dog, if she were to come out and say, oh yeah, what do they say about her? You too old for that. You shouldn't have this, you shouldn't do that. They say it with Nicki Minaj, and she's not even older. So let's not act like it's not no gender bias in hip hop. It is.
So why they try to age you out?
Because that's just how the game is. It's called the patriarchy. It's called male female dynamics. It's called power. It's a power grab. Why did they try to age out Mary Magdalene? Why they didn't put Mary Magdalene's name in the book? Why was she the only female disciple that nobody ever talked about? Why was she the only one that stood by the tomb when Peter was denied him and when Judas sold him out? Why? The power of a woman's tongue is powerful. So anytime you start talking about this microphone and anything that's gonna make me powerful on this microphone, whether it's women in preaching, whether it's women in rapping, whether it's women in spoken word, whether it's women in politics, you got to figure out some kind of way to get me out the game. Just like when I say with women, however you feel you competing with me, age, if that's your only thing you're standing on, that you're younger than me, bet you got that. But you got to stand on me on this. You got to beat me on this. You got to beat me in these pockets. You got to beat me in my hustle. So if your only thing is I'm younger than you, stand on it, baby. Because if you blessed, you'll live longer. But at some point in time, you're going to have to compete with me on this microphone. And so it's a way to X women out the game. And that's not saying that from a feminist standpoint. It's just a power shift. And it is what it is. Women are not appreciated as we get older. They're just not. It's always you look good for 50. You know, or you look good for 45, or, oh, you too old to have that on, or this on, or to say this or say that. You don't hear that about men. You don't hear that about men at all. You are not going to see a female artist break in her 30s. A rapper.
You just shut me up.
It's a fact.